Once upon a girl hurtled into a world where glass ceilings only existed in dolly houses. Little Miss Makeup taught girls that there was true beauty in painting their faces. The sweet secret was in the transformation. A time when Barbie set the bar on thigh gaps, dolls were our rites of passage, nurturing the nurturer, whispering murmurs of child rearing long before I was even bleeding. Pop culture had me believing that one size fits all. Please don't feed the models. Model to me that there was real value added in stressing about squeezing into those size 8s. Body bollocks, fad diets, booty, licious bottoms. It's all in the waist. But don't lose too much weight because you'll have 2 backs. Living room dates with Jane Fonda. Wonder bras wondering where the fuck your tits have gone. Hoisting yourself into a bulletproof breast. Because a handful of pad titillates the boys much more than a smart girl with a flat chest. Dissecting us into legs, arse and tits ensures a benchmark exists of learning to read the scales, long before we know the score of weighing into our beauty as off the scale. System overload, periods, stopped. I'll be pretty honest, I'm not saying as women we can't love lingerie and literature, pampering and politics, fashion and feminism. The habitual ritual of looking good creates us as individuals. But pitting us against each other and valuing our net worth on our looks locks us out of being at home in our own skin. Shallow appeal pitched against an unrealistic ideal that locks us out of being at home in our own bodies and living in the mirror with me, myself and I. Airbrushing intuition, inch by inch, shedding our instinct, beckoning us to second guess what we were gifted and given. Cover up, but never quite enough coverage that undresses the courage of our brains, not our bodies. See, if you want to date me, lay with me and play with me, I don't want you to fuck my brains out. I want you to foreplay my thoughts and come to brain with me. Brain to brain. Because when it comes to brain power, we're often told don't speak because no doubt what you have to say won't hold much weight. Watchers with ill intent will tell you you are nothing without your looks and nothing without your body. Wrong. I embody my body boldly. I am imperfectly perfect. I am the before and ever after. I choose purpose over pixelation, natural selection over filtering. It suits me down to a T, that nature is a bespoke tailor. I'm less alpha feminine and more beta wave. The water that runs through my cavernous soul creates my shape. I have that outline. That I am more than just an outline. I had to grow back to go forward to configure to figure out that I am more than just a figure. I am a kaleidoscopic colour by number. I am the multiple stories of the stoic women who stand in spirit beside me. You cannot mould me, carve me, cast me, frame me, box the fiery fox inside me. I am every woman, and I am no kind of woman. I'm willing to walk on broken glass because I didn't care much for dolly houses anyway. Fenced in fairy tales, telling tales on girls to fight it out for the prince, like they had nothing better to do. Who in most cases comes to liberate the girl from an evil spell, casting aesthetic envy from another woman. Not fighting fairly for that mirror because aging skin makes you an evil woman. Alarm bell finds beauty in the beast despite Stockholm syndroming her every need. Once upon an opinion, I remember thinking, why can't the princess rescue herself? Save herself from expectations, beliefs and systems, be herself. Swap speechless for speechful. Don her naff puffer, zip up her head holdall, lace up those Reebok classics, saddle up that little pony and do one. So I did. Upon a girl, I fortunately got asked to write a poem to perform with a choir, which I did, and I wrote Once Upon a Girl, and that was about just to kind of celebrate female empowerment and being a woman, and wanting to kind of celebrate and uplift girls and teenagers as they go into like a real techie era, or we are in the techie era. So it's, I just wanted to kind of celebrate where I've got to in life in terms of living in my own skin and loving who I am. And kindness was written to celebrate the importance of kindness as a virtue and as a characteristic, and why it's really important to start with being kind with yourself first. And I think that kind of stemmed from the fact that over the years I had to learn to have a much more tender and vulnerable dialogue with myself, and the kinder I was to myself, the happier I was. So it's kind of a celebration of kindness. Kindness. So many people look for it in the louder actions, but what about the words? Kindness. All too often the world is met with bruised words, wound words, not mine to own words. Kindness. It really does start within us, so don't internally cuss. Be mindful of the secret sounds and whispers and talk you have with yourself in your head first, because words are ripples across that rippling pond. Many etched and formed by others in our formative years, but not all words are meant for us, don't have to become us. The ego wants you to believe it's all true, but even the ego needs kindness. It's the words we exchange with ourselves that matter most, so let the harsh ones come and go. Don't word torment yourself. Replace with ones you wish to cement. See, words spin a yarn of yonder years, so we need to make kindness automatic. Daily kindness for 21 days rewires the brain. Fact. Show kindness to others by speaking kind to them too. Kindness, it lessens depression, mends jobs and helps relationships. Kindness to me is happiness. Let unkind words pass through you. Just because it's there doesn't mean it's true. Rethink, and in a blink sow words that soothe you, mend you, make you into the words you wish to be. I wonder if the tongue really knows its power. Such a tiny body part can hinder or heighten the heart. Just one kind word. Oh, what a difference it makes. Look for it in their face, might lighten the load of whatever's on their case, soften the blow in the rat race. It's like a brain kiss, dopamine bliss, shun hate and let unkind words dissipate. Be the word pool on the world's hardware. Be the soft voice in the software of a kind heart. Just one kind word. Let's start. My writing process is quite varied. Sometimes I call them brain farts, or brain vomits, and what I'll do is I'll just get everything down on paper, and it'll be a very, very rough edit, and then I'll go back to it and I will sculpt it as if like a sculptor, to kind of shave it off. Sometimes they come to me very naturally, and I'll write it in like an hour. You know, other times it can take 2 to 3 months, and I'll go away, let something marinate, and really kind of allow my thought process to be reflective on what I'm trying to say. My younger self. Advice. Well, that's a hard one. I would have probably told her to trust herself a bit more earlier on, and that she was good enough, because actually in my early years before I've kind of returned back to writing now, but when I was 17 I went into journalism for 12 years, and I never felt quite good enough, and a lot of that was to do with my kind of social economic background, so I guess I'd say to her that she was worth it. Yeah.